So we're going to review how to make a tree from matrix again. We've done this before, so I'm going to do this fairly quickly, but I'll also map the characters on the tree so you can see how that's done. So the first thing we're going to do is highlight the species that share the characteristic, right? So if it's got a 1, it means they have the characteristic. If it has the 0, it means they don't. So I'm just highlighting where we have commonalities. This one's just there, right? And that makes it easier to visualize. Okay, so then I'm going to start with some of the characteristics that have just a couple species. So looking at vessels, that's only 1. So we're going to come back to that one for now. Okay, if we look at tracheids, that second to last one, it groups ferns, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. So we would say ferns, I can't even do that, gymnosperms, angiosperms. Those are all grouped together by the tracheids trait. Okay, and then vascular tissue, same thing, groups those 3 together. So we've done this one, so does true roots and vessels, and lignin. Those all group those 3 together. Ooh, now we have some 2. So seeds is just gymnosperms and angiosperms. So these guys actually form a smaller group in there with seeds, secondary growth. Anything else? No. So then we look at these ones that have 4, like an embryo and a cuticle. Well, it's got the ferns and the gymnosperms and the angiosperms, but also the bryophytes. So if we group the bryophytes in there, we've got a bigger group, and that's by the embryo, the cuticle. I believe that's everything. Then we look at green algae. Green algae is included. Okay, so we'll just call it green algae, like that. It's included in the big group by undergoing meiosis, by lacking phycocyanin, by having a nucleus, by having chlorophyll B, and by cellulose in the cell walls. And then all of them are grouped together, including cyanobacteria, if we include chlorophyll A. And then those ones that are just in 1, these 3, we're going to come back to them because they don't really help us build the tree, but they do need to be mapped. All right, so given this, we're going to look and see that GA seems to be a tiny little group here. So I'm going to make a little clade of gymnosperms and angiosperms. And then outside of that, we have F, so a whole clade of the 3 of them. You would go like that. There's F for ferns. And then bryophytes. So we're going to bring it out again and get bryophytes on there. And then we have green algae. So bring that out and put green algae, and then we have cyanobacteria. And down. Now we can map the traits. So if you see, cellulose in the cell walls is everybody except for cyanobacteria. So you have to follow up this tree, and I'm just going to sort of, let me highlight actually. If you're looking at this tree, I don't know what that is. Okay, if you're looking at this tree and you want to pick, let me do it in red, everything but cyanobacteria, then we want to be looking at this branch right here that's leading up to everything but not cyanobacteria. So that's where we would mark cellulose, and I'll mark it in blue. That's where you'd mark cellulose. Right? So everyone above that has it, but cyanobacteria does not. Whereas chlorophyll A, where would you put that? Chlorophyll A needs to be on the branch that leads to everyone, which is this branch right here. So this is where you'd put chlorophyll A. Okay, and then we can look at chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll B is in the same place as cellulose. I'm not actually going to write it because I don't have room, but you'd have it right there with cellulose. Cuticle is only in the branch that leads to bryophytes, ferns, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. So that's this group right here. Let me get another color out here. Bryophytes, ferns, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. So the branch leading to them is right here. So this is where you'd put cuticle, an embryo, and what are our other ones that lead to that? This one was cellulose. I guess I could write it here. Chlorophyll B. What other ones lead to all 5 of those? The nucleus, the lack of phycocyanin, and meiosis. Okay, and then if we go up even farther, so those were the 4 ones, the 3 ones, the ones that only include, let me get rid of that, The ones that only include ferns, gymnosperms, and angiosperms, so those top three, we got to put them on this branch right here that leads to only those top three. So that would be like lignin, roots, and leaves, and vascular tissue, and tracheids. Okay, and then the ones that only group gymnosperms and angiosperms, like secondary growth and seeds, are going to be on the branch that only leads to them. So secondary growth, seeds, and then you can go back and catch these ones that are only on one, like vessels. Vessels are only on angiosperms, so you'd put them right there. Same thing with fruit and flowers. And that's how you build the tree and map the characters.